Paris, the Memoir by Paris Hilton. If you don't know who Paris Hilton is, then I don't know if you've been living under a rock, but here in North America anyways, Paris Hilton, her parents are part of the Hilton hotels. Although her parents are privileged and she is privileged, she has a very, very strong work ethic, which has come through in this book. I did not realize that. You kind of think of Paris Hilton as just a party bimbo. Not true. Read the book. You will find out. It's quite surprising, actually. First impressions, the cover, very on brand. She looks like a princess. Black with the pink. The black border does not go through to the back cover, and I would have liked to have seen her in maybe a different outfit on the back cover or something. There is also no pictures in the book. She doesn't talk about people, but she does mention some people when she's telling her story. She does not tell other people's stories. But there's no pictures in the back. There's no pictures of her in different phases of her life, different fashion trends, nothing. I would have liked to have seen some pictures. She doesn't talk about having a ghostwriter, maybe a writing coach. It's never mentioned, not sure. She's a very intelligent woman. I think of her as baby talk, girlish. She's a 42-year-old mother, married. She's a woman, and she's very accomplished. And she talks about her skincare, and I assume that this is photoshopped a bit, but flawlessly looking skin, let me tell you. Paris does talk about being diagnosed with ADHD as an adult, how having been diagnosed that as a child may have helped her. Trigger warnings in this book, lots of trigger warnings. She went to a high school for troubled teens, a boarding school. Massive abuse. She was sexualized young. She was put on a Playboy cover without her permission due to a loophole. A grade 8 teacher is involved with her being in grade 8. Yuck. Talked about being drugged, roofies. Harvey Weinstein makes an appearance in the book. She has gone through it. This woman has gone through it and has come out the other side victorious. Very inspirational. Now, as an adult, because of all the things that she has gone through as a teen and young adult, she suffers a little bit from PTSD, but she also is very into advocacy work. I'm not quite sure how it works in the United States, but I think she goes and to hearings in the legislature, or however it works, and talks about her abuse that she had at the hands of these troubled teen boarding high school sort of things. She went to the boarding school for 2 years and came out, never did get her grade 12 because it was supposed to be a school, but it wasn't. There was no schooling going on at all. It was just terrible abuse and very dark. You think this is a pretty picture, blonde, everything goes well for her, but she had it hard in her teenage years. She was silent about it for about 20 years, has only recently started talking about it, I think in respect for her parents, because her parents must feel huge guilt. No idea, but I would think as a parent you would feel a lot of guilt for having put your child in that situation. And she is an escape artist. She got out of these boarding schools, escaped, I don't know how many times, but was always put back either by her parents or her aunt, the police. They found her and they put her back in. And she only got out of it when she became an adult and turned 18. Good for her. Kids died in these schools. It's dark. It is a dark part of her life. Having said that, she did start off with huge privilege. I mean, she is a Hilton, but she has worked hard. Paris is a true entrepreneur. It says here, her fragrances have brought in almost $3 billion. And she was working on 19 other lifestyle brands, including skincare, shoes, clothes, bags, lipsticks, lighting, home decor, pet fashions, and anything else she could bounce off her mood board. Her real estate holdings included spas and nightclubs. She was even following in her great-grandfather's footsteps, opening hotels on her own. She's writing and recording music. She's always up to shoot a movie and make appearances in the right place for the right price. She is a highly paid DJ. No idea, did not know that at all. That she DJs these big rave type things, like, and gets $1 million a gig, like, amazing. She has her hand in so many things. As a young adult in her 20s, she thought the paparazzi are making money by taking pictures of her. Why doesn't she take selfies, take pictures of herself, and she gets the money instead of the paparazzi getting the money? Like, she just thinks of things like that. She was the OG influencer. She would go to parties, love to party, so then she thought, why don't I get paid to go to parties? She's turned everything she can into a money-making machine, and she has done well. If you Google her, anywhere from $250 to $350 million, she is worth on her own without her parents. You don't do that if you're not a very intelligent, very driven person. Would I recommend this book? Yes. I didn't listen to the audiobook, but I did look it up, and it is narrated by Paris, which I like. If you're going to write a memoir, you might as well narrate it in your own voice, not in her baby voice. That is a persona. That is a shield she puts on when she's out in public. It is in her regular voice. A few quotes to end off this video that stuck out for me in the book. I'm not saying the world revolves around me. I'm saying my world revolves around me, just as your world revolves around you. Remember that. We're all a little bit selfish. We all think the world revolves around us. Not just Paris. We are the same. Common humanity. We all have the same sort of feelings. I also like this one. Sorry, not sorry. The only people who don't screw up are the people who never do anything. I found that with this YouTube channel. Sometimes you get negative comments, and I think, do you have a YouTube channel? Do you put yourself out there? Do you try and better yourself? Get out of your comfort zone? It is very, very easy to judge other people. And we all judge celebrities. We all have preconceived notions. But the only people that don't screw up are the people that don't put themselves out there. So yes, Paris has screwed up, but she has put herself out there, and her successes far outstrip any failures that she's ever had. Failures are not really failures, they're just learning. Paris does talk about her sex tape. She was 19 years old, remember that. She was a teenager, and it was a much older man. So who's to blame? She didn't want it out there. She was coerced into it in the first place. Put the blame. So here is the quote. I place the shame where it belongs, on the people who hurt me. They lose their power and I'm free. So she's trying, it's very hard to do, to not feel shame for certain things that have happened to her in her life, like her grade 8 teacher at school, like being on Playboy, like being abused at the troubled teen boarding school. All those things, the sex tape. She tries not to feel shame. It's not her fault. She was a young female. It's the other person's fault. So don't feel shame. Put the shame where it belongs, on the other person. This is good advice for everybody. With each passing year, it matters less and less to me how other people love, hate, adore, or dismiss me. Stop worrying about what other people think of you. It frees you up. It's hard. Try not to worry about what other people think of you. Your neighbors, your family, don't worry about what they think of you. Worry about what you think of yourself. And finally, in the acknowledgments, she says, in telling my story, I've tried to be careful not to tell my version of the stories that don't belong to me. Not everybody who's important to me shows up as a character in this book. Unlike, say, Spare by Prince Harry, she knows that people's memories will vary. She's telling what she remembers. We all have a different lens how we look through this world. She doesn't talk about her brothers. She doesn't talk about her sister much. Or if she does, it's factual. She doesn't say this is the way they feel, because who knows how they feel. She doesn't tell other people's stories. She tells her story and her story only. So yes, go out and get Paris the Memoir. Listen to it on Audible. Get it from the library. Whatever you want to do, but it is worth a read. It will change your perception of Paris Hilton. It changed mine, and I'm glad I read it. Thanks for watching.